Here are the Fantasy Follows top 5 waiver wire players to target for Week 16 of fantasy football. The top player to target off the waiver wire this week is Salvon Ahmed, running back for the Miami Dolphins. Now, this week's video is going up on Wednesday, so these are numbers through last week, rostered in 34% of all leagues. Ahmed, in his return from injury last week, 122 yards with a touchdown, 21.76 fantasy points versus New England. And this week, a great matchup playing the Las Vegas Raiders, currently allowing the third most fantasy points to the running back spot. Number 2 is Jalen Hurts, quarterback for the Eagles. Last week, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, adding 63 rush yards with a touchdown on the ground. That was 37.82 fantasy points versus the Cardinals. And a nice matchup this week as well, playing the Cowboys, currently allowing the 12th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Rashard Higgins, if you're in need of a wide receiver for the Browns. Last week, 76 yards, 4 catches. That was 11.6 fantasy points versus the Giants. And this week, another nice matchup playing the Jets, currently allowing the 7th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. Number 4, it's Tony Pollard, running back for the Cowboys. Now, his value closely tied to the status of Ezekiel Elliott. But this past week, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, also 63 receiving yards on 4 catches. That was 31.2 fantasy points versus the 49ers. This week, playing the Eagles, allowing the 10th fewest fantasy points to the running back spot. And then Benny Snell, running back for the Steelers. Again, his value tied to the status of James Conner. But this past week, 84 yards with a touchdown, also adding 23 receiving yards on 3 catches. That was 19.70 fantasy points versus Cincinnati. And his matchup, playing the Colts, the 12th fewest fantasy points allowed to the running back spot. It is championship time for most of you in your fantasy football playoffs. So don't forget to join us this week for the TFF Live Sunday pregame show. That's Sunday at 12 noon Eastern time, streaming live right here on our YouTube channel, answering all your fantasy football questions and getting you ready for that big Week 16 matchup. And here's more info about us. We are the Fantasy Follow. We're a brand new channel on YouTube this season. We thank those of you who have been with us right along. If you are new to the stream, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you're able to get those notifications for when we have new content. We're also on Twitter at the Fantasy Follow, and that's fantasy spelled FNTSY. And you can send us your fantasy football questions on Twitter during the week using the hashtag AskTFFLive, and we will answer those questions live on our Sunday pregame show. Facebook / the Fantasy Follow, and our website, fantasyfollow.com.